Hi everybody, I'm Robin Retallick from the Law of Attraction Club, and this hangout is the summary we do for our Saturday call, which is next week. Subject is, are feelings so important after all? Are they really so damn important? And the answer is yes. We're going to talk about that. We'd love to have you, of course, come to our call on Saturday and ask your questions. Feel free to do it. And here's Tara in the summary. Welcome. For many years after he began intersecting with us, this one had no idea what we meant by nothing is more important than that you feel good. He's beginning to get it. Some of you are beginning to get it. In any case, it's worthy of a revisit. We'll start from the cosmic view, the fundamental truth of who you are, because we want you to really know about the power that you have. We want you to see that simply feeling good is the main tent and everything else is just a sideshow. You are, at your essence, a non-physical entity that thinks and creates this world of yours into beingness. You are the consciousness that has dreamed up and continues to dream up the particular and unique version of this physical game you are playing. And the you that is doing this is just one part of the bigger you that simultaneously thinks and creates in many worlds and many galaxies. And that bigger you is part of the collective consciousness of all that is. You are an always connected part of the source of everything. So, how did you dream up this physical game? Well, you made belief choices about why you're here and what's important to you. You made belief choices about everything in your experience. Your story is constructed entirely from those choices. It's the story about the physical you. It's the story about the matching version of the world that wraps itself around you. And, by the way, there are no right or wrong stories. There is just your story, here and now. Your story may be that it's just a physical world, and that's it. Your story may be about finding your true life purpose and fulfilling it. Your story may be that you're here to serve God, or here to serve others. Your story may be about worthiness and inheriting eternal life. Your story may be about learning and moving to a higher level of consciousness. Your story may be about karma and the influence of past lives. Your story may be about astrology and the alignment of the planets. Let's take astrology as an example. For most of his life, this one thought of astrology as nonsense. As he has learned more of the fundamental nature of everything, he now understands it is simply a belief choice, and no more right or wrong than his own. His story, perhaps also like many of yours, includes things like time and space and gravity and around planet Earth in a Milky Way galaxy in a huge cosmos. But none of these belief choices are absolute. All of them are optional. His world may be similar to your world in many respects, but each of you has your own version of everything. These are your sideshows. Magnificent sideshows, of course. Incredibly detailed and engaging sideshows, but sideshows nonetheless. Now, we are not, through any of this, encouraging you to disengage from that story. Quite the opposite. We are encouraging you to engage in it, whatever it is, but in the way you originally intended, by keeping everything in perspective. We want you at all times to remember there is no part of any game that confines you with limited options. Stories are not absolute. You can pick a new sideshow. As you discover parts of your story are fencing you in, and there will be parts like that, your ever-present and infallible emotional guidance system kicks in. And guess what? You don't feel good. This is your starting point. Your story is your context, but now we are entering the main tent. Creating, you see, is what you do. You came here to experience the joy of creating in this different context. As you intersect with others, you are interacting with them within the boundaries you have set. You mix it up and you have experiences, some wanted, some unwanted. New desires are born. New choices are made, and your world reversions itself around you. This is the fun of it. This is how you create in all of your stories, and it is why it doesn't matter what story you have chosen. And here's where feelings come in. They are your ever-present, infallible compass. If you are heading in the direction of creating what you want in your experience, your heart sings. You are in the range from peace and pleasure to ecstasy. And any work you are doing to achieve this will feel effortless. But if you are heading away from what you want, if you are creating negatively, your feelings will match, from boredom down to fear or anger to utter despair. You are struggling. Do you begin to see why how you feel is so important? If the absolute core reason you came here was to experience the joy of creating what you want, and you are heading in the opposite direction, nothing can be more important than changing course. There's nothing about your story that's more important than feeling good. There are no shoulds, no have-tos, no must-dos on earth or anywhere that can possibly take priority over simply turning and heading in the direction of what you want. There are those among you who say that your feelings cannot be the main tent. It's too superficial, too trivial, that there has to be some more lofty or divine purpose for all of this. Well, we would take you back to who you are. At your heart, you are a creator and a joy seeker, and there is fundamentally no entity here or anywhere that has made decisions about what you should do or wants anything from you other than to see you rejoicing in this game you are creating. If you can feel how amazing this power is that you have, you will know that it does not come any more lofty or divine than that. There are those of you who think being over-focused on how you feel is too self-centered. Well, let us assure you there is no one shared world. This world of yours is the movie of your life, and you are the writer of the screenplay, the director, and the leading actor all rolled into one. The particular versions of those other actors who are showing up in your scenes are faithfully following your screenplay and your direction. Of course, different versions of you are likewise showing up in their movies. But in this one, you are calling the shots. By definition, this one is all centered around you. Then there are those that say we are promoting selfishness. Well, once again, that is a one-world concept. And even in that context, selfishness implies lack, that you are taking for yourself and thereby denying others. And since there's no limit to what each of you can manifest, there can be no lack. Further, what someone else does or doesn't manifest has nothing to do with you. They get what they attract, and you have zero control over that. When you truly get who you are, you know that things like selfishness and blame and victimhood, these are all totally invalid concepts. What we are promoting is the idea that your story is not a fixture. While we encourage you to cherish, nourish, appreciate, and anticipate the good parts, we suggest also that you open up to the idea that you can rewrite the not-so-good parts. So how do you know when you're heading into those not-so-good parts? It's simple. It doesn't feel good. Pay attention to those feelings. Don't settle for less than what you want. Find processes that work for you that help you focus on what you want. and use them until they become a habit, until they are simply a part of who you are. Because you see, nothing is more important than that you feel good. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Be easy about everything. Come at life as if it's truly the game that it is. Relax more. Appreciate more. Laugh more. Make feeling good your life's purpose. No matter what story you chose, you can always choose another one. Be less mesmerized by any particular story and more aware of how you feel about it. Pivot away from negative thoughts and imagine what you want into beingness. If you've dug a hole for yourself, stop digging. Set your intentions once more on feeling good. Feeling good is more than just a good idea. It defines the quality of every part of the life you're living. And it will define the ease with which you transition at the end of it. The main intent has never been that physical stuff you manifest, nor even the non-physical stuff you're making up. The main intent is you, with your hands in the clay of all that is, creating your next masterpiece. Okay, so that's our summary for this week. As I said, we'd love to have you on the call. Noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific time here in the USA, and come along, ask your questions. And of course, we'd love to have you become a more permanent member of the club. And if you follow some links here, you'll get to that. We have 2 fantastic programs that we're doing, 12-month programs, which are designed to get you in the flow here. And if you're looking for a little support and a little help, I can thoroughly recommend those. So thanks, and bye for now.